into women in the Bible, women in the Bible, in terms of how women and their duties and responsibilities, um, what the Bible says their duties and responsibilities are towards building this nation and towards the work of the Most High. That's what we want to do today for our law reading. Let me get my stuff together here. Because as we rejoice in this truth, we have to remain focused. We have to remain focused on what Yah has required of us to do. And we should be unifying as one nation and keeping his commandments and enduring till Yahweh Shai returns. But we can't endure as a nation if we don't build a nation. That should be the focal point, and you will hear me say it over and over again, because that was the decree that was left by Yahweh Shai. Gather yourselves together, build a nation. That was the decree. And we can't do that if no one is doing their job. You have to be focused on what is my job, what do I have to do, right? So we're going to get some of that today. What is required of women to help build this nation? What is their job, and what do they have to do? So let's start off with Exodus 1 and 15. Just two verses.
Exodus 1, verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other was Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. Keep going.
Verse 17.
But the midwives feared Yah, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt,
these women was not in the, if these women were not in the position that they should have been in, then a lot of these men children would not have been saved alive, including Moses, who was a deliverer of Israel. You have to be in a certain position in order for the Most High to use you. The position that women often take in our assemblies is, I want to be over the man. That becomes an issue, that becomes a problem. But if you do your part, the Most High will use you in the position that he has called you to be in. You can save a nation. You can save a nation if you do your part. But if you out of joint and you're not in your part, guess what? We're losing, men and women. We're losing because you don't want to be in your position. And we're going to see very clearly how women, as we go through Torah, as we go through the Bible, very clearly how women played a great part in this nation, but they played their part in their part. They were never over men, never. Let's see about Hannah for another example. Let's see about Hannah in the Bible. Let's go to 1 Samuel 2 and 1. 1 Samuel 2 and 1.
Book of 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 1. And Hannah prayed and said, my heart rejoices in the Most High. Mine horn is exalted in the Most High. My mouth is enlarged over mine enemies, because I rejoice in thy salvation.
Mm-hmm. Now drop down to 9 and 10.
All right, 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 9. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness, for by strength shall no man prevail. The adversaries of the Most High shall be broken to pieces. Out of heaven shall he thunder upon them. The Most High shall judge the ends of the earth, and he shall give strength unto his king, and exalt the horn of his anointed.
And exalt the horn of his anointing. The Most High fulfilled her request. You have to go back and read this story. You won't do it today, but the Most High fulfilled her request for having a child. She was barren, and she offered her child up to the Most High, and she kept her word. She kept her word. She had a fierce nature towards her nation, and she raised her child up in the fear and admiration of the Most High. She even went so far as to give the child that she asked the Most High for back to the temple to raise and rear up and to be instructed. And she continued to provide care and instruction for her son. Let's see another woman that saved her nation, Esther. Just a few examples. There's women all in the Bible that righteously played a part in saving our nation. Esther, let's go to the book of Esther 9 and 29. 9 and we're going to read verses 29 through 30.
Esther 9, verses 29 and 30. Then Esther the queen, the daughter of Abihail, and the Mordecai the Jew, wrote with all authority to confirm this second letter to Purim. And he sent the letters unto all the Jews, to the 127 provinces of the kingdom of Assuerus, with word of peace and truth.
Mm-hmm.
Still going?
We're going down to 32. To 32. To end of the chapter.
To confirm these days of Purim in their times appointed, according to Mordecai the Jew and Esther the queen had enjoined them, and as they had decreed for themselves and for their seed, the matter of the fastings and their cry. And the decree of Esther confirmed these matters of Purim, and it was written in the book.
So Esther, being the queen, decreed the matter under the direction of her uncle Mordecai. Even though she was a queen and had great authority, she listened to the instruction of the elder that was over her, her uncle. And now under his direction, she saved our nation. 127 provinces within this kingdom, the Most High utilized her to help save our nation. She understood her place, even though she was a queen. She understood. She wrote with all authority under the direction of her uncle Mordecai. She understood. This is called righteous placement. Understand. You understand that you're not over a man, but you can have your gifts utilized to help bring about deliverance to our people. Let's get Miriam right quick, because Miriam, we always talk about her on how she had to get dealt with. So let's talk about her right quick. Exodus 15 and 20. Exodus 15 and 20. Give me verses 20 and 21.
Exodus chapter 15, verse 20. And Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dances. And Miriam answered them, sing ye to the Most High.
All the women, Officer McAbees, I had to say something about that. All of the women went after her. And none of the men get up. All of the women, this prophetess, this woman, Miriam, all the women got up and went after her. You didn't see any men following her. You've seen all of the women getting up and going after her. Read it over again. Read it again.
Exodus 15 and 20. And Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dances. And Miriam answered them, Sing ye to the Most High, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea.
He hurled them into the sea. Now Miriam got off a little bit and had to be corrected a little bit later on in the wilderness. But we see at this point right here, she was committing righteous acts. At this point right here was righteous acts right here. The Bible calls her a prophetess, and women followed after her. All right, let's go over to the later testament. Let's get Luke 2 and 36. Luke 2 and 36. 36 and 38. Luke 2, second chapter, Luke, verse 36 through 38.
Luke chapter 2, verse 36 through 38. And there was one woman, Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel of the tribe of Esther. He was a great age and had lived with a husband seven years from her virginity. And she was a widow of about 84 years, which departed not from the temple, but served Yah with fastings and prayer night and day. And she coming in that instant gave thanks likewise unto the Most High, and spoke of him to all that looked for redemption in Jerusalem.
So this Ema was at the temple encouraging the children of Israel to endure. This Ema sat at the temple and always with fasting and prayers, encouraging the children of Israel to endure and to serve the Most High. She wasn't there tail bearing. She wasn't there running her mouth. She wasn't up there gossiping, girl. She was encouraging brothers and sisters to endure and to keep Yah's laws. Let's get Luke 8 and 1. Luke 8 and 1.
Book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 1. And it came to pass afterward that he went throughout every city and village, preaching and showing the glad tidings of the kingdom of Yah, and the 12 were with him. And certain women which had been healed of evil spirits and infirmities, Mary called Magdalene, out of whom went 7 devils, and Joanna, the wife of cousin Herod Stewart, and Susanna, and many others, which ministered unto him of their substance.
So the women at this point were with the disciples with Yahushua. The women that were around being discipled, they ministered to Yahushua as well. To minister means to serve. That's what it means. They serve in any capacity that they could help. These women helped and assisted these brothers as they went about teaching, as they went about in their ministry. As they went forth, the women were there ministering and they were serving, being the helpmate, being a helpmate. Let's get Philippians 2 and 3. We're just gonna walk it on down through the Bible. Walk it on down.
Philippians 2, verse 3. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves.
Let me. I'm sorry. I gave you the wrong verse. Philippians 4, verses 2 and 3.
Philippians 4, verses 2 and 3. I beseech you, Eudias, and beseech Syntyche, and they be of the same mind of the Most High. And I entreat thee also, true yokefellow, help those women which labored with me in the gospel, with Clement also.
Help those women who labored in the gospel, because as Paul sent these brothers in various assemblies and congregation, the women went too, because they had work to do. They had to build a nation. They had to teach other women how to dress, how to act, how to be with their husbands, how to raise their children, and things of that nature. They had to go too. They went too. So they put in some work too. These women that labored in the gospel together with Clement. Meaning Clement was the leader, but these women went with him and helped him in that capacity, in that function. Let's get Acts 9 and 36.
You finish that up?
Oh, we didn't finish the verse?
No. And
finish the verse out.
And I entreat thee also, true yokefellow, help those women which labored with me in the gospel, with Clement also, and with other my fellow laborers, whose names are in the book of life.
All praises. We Acts 9 and 36.
Book of
9
Acts,
and 36.
Book of Acts, chapter 9, verse 36. Now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and alms deeds which she did.
She was filled with good works. She wasn't just sitting around with her head wrapped up. She was filled with good works. She put in some work around the assembly. She had good deeds to do. She had bright ideas. And the reason why I'm going through stuff like this is because you have a lot of women that's not being, talents and gifts are not being utilized. Very highly intelligent women. Very highly intelligent women. But they can't be used because brothers shuts them down. Sit down somewhere. Go on somewhere. You ain't doing nothing. That's insane of us. We cut off our nose to spite our face. We have to learn how to lead these women, lead them in what they should be doing to help build this nation. You can't have a nation of just men. You gotta, it's men and women takes a nation. That's how you build a nation. Men and women working together with men at the head and leading. Let's get Romans 16. We're almost done with this. Romans 16.
And what?
Romans 16 and 1.
Romans
So
16.
we're gonna read down. We're gonna read the first 7 verses.
Romans 16, 1 through 7. I commend unto you Phoebe, our sister, which is a servant of the assembly, which is at Cenchrea, that ye receive her in the Most High, as becometh saints, and that ye assist her in whatsoever business she have need of you. For she hath been a secure of many, and of myself also.
So let me say something about that. Let me say something about this verse 2, about this sister Phoebe right here. This sister undoubtedly was a business-minded sister. She was a secure of many and of myself, meaning she helped Paul in some type of financial capacity with his ministry, some kind of way. And not only me, he said, but others as well. So she was very good in business. She was very good in business, and she helped these brothers get the word out, get the message out by means of utilizing her gifts and talents to help those brothers out. Verse 3.
Greet Priscilla and Aquila my helpers in Yahushua Messiah, who have for my life laid down their own necks, unto whom not only I give thanks, but also all the assemblies of the Gentiles. Likewise, greet the assembly that is in their house. Salute my well-beloved Ephraimites, who is the first fruits of Akai unto Yahushua. Greet Mary, who bestowed much labor on us. Salute Andronicus and Junia, my kinsmen, and my fellow prisoners, who are of note among the apostles, who also were in Yahushua before me.
So this sister was she was a believer before Paul. That's she was the believer before Paul. And all of these sisters that he is mentioning, these sisters worked diligently to help with the various assemblies and was a very effective, or he wouldn't have mentioned them, very effective at bringing about the deliverance of our people and bringing about the awareness and the knowledge at that time that needed to be brought out by these men of the Most High that were doing a lot of the teaching and setting up these assemblies and things of that nature. Let's drop down, Deacon Keefer, to 12 and 13.
Verses 12 and 13. Salute Tryphena and Tryphosa, who labor in the Most High. Salute the beloved Persis, which labored much in the Most High. Salute Rufus, chosen in the Most High, and his mother and mine. Go on to 14.
His mother and mine. That's all I want.